Do you have questions about your retirement? Stay tuned. We have a great show full of financial planning questions and answers right ahead.
Welcome to Farm Truck Financial, where wisdom and wealth ride shotgun. Join Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors, who believes that the best kind of planning happens when 4 tires hit the road. So hop in. Today, we're talking about investment strategies that drive results.
Farm Truck Financial, we're riding with you.
And welcome to Farm Truck Financial. My name is Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors. And today I am joined with Donna Krohn, certified financial planner with Retirement Wealth Advisors. Donna, welcome.
Thank you, Eric. Glad to be here again.
I'm so happy that you're here. We always talk about so many different financial planning subjects, and a huge effort is put forth with you to sit down with our clients and really do true financial planning. So we want to talk about tax planning today, but I really want to talk more about the educational part of what you do when you sit down with one of our clients to help educate them about their particular future and how personalized this is.
You know, Eric, every time I meet with a client, almost the very first thing that comes out of my mouth is my job, my purpose is to educate you on your financial situation.
Right.
And your financial situation has many different aspects, many different moving parts, many pieces. Even for people who feel that, well, you know, my situation's pretty simple, I promise you, once we get into financial planning, I think people are amazed with, oh my God, I never thought of that. I never thought about my tax burden 5 years from now. I never thought about, oh my God, if I do this, this is going to impact my Medicare premium.
Right.
You know, I never thought if something happens to me, you know, I just assume we have enough money, what's going to happen to my beneficiaries or to my surviving spouse. And when we start getting into those different aspects and really, like I said, educating our clients, not just on general financial planning principles, but how do those things relate to their personal financial situation?
Right. So what we always talk about is if you are a pre or post retiree, there really are 5 crucial areas that you need to concentrate on: financial planning, income planning, tax planning, a strong portfolio management team, and also concierge service. So when we go through that, people appreciate the process that we put them through, because really people are out there, they're buying tools, investments, and products without any kind of understanding of why they're actually purchasing them. So I think what we do at Retirement Wealth Advisors so differently, Donna, is we put people through a process. And when you really see someone that is wealthy or successful, they have a process and they embrace that process. They want that process. And that's really what people are craving now, is that financial infrastructure. So let's kind of go through the process of how you go through and implement the financial plan, the income plan, and really coming down to the tax plan.
When we're working with a client, we are asking a wide range of questions and gathering a lot of data on that client. The income planning, the tax planning, those are almost the natural byproducts of doing financial planning. We have all the data. We have all the information.
Right.
When I understand your assets, your sources of income, and what you're trying to accomplish, then the income planning flows naturally. It's the same thing with tax planning. Once we have all those pieces, it's very easy to start to identify opportunities where we can further improve your tax situation. But again, going back to the education, it's not enough for someone, even a professional, to tell you this is what you should do.
Right.
You need to be able to understand, why is this a good idea? How does this decision here impact all these other things over there?
Right.
It really increases our financial confidence. We're moving around in the world and we're showing up and doing things with a level of confidence that we didn't have before, because now we understand. We understand how point A connects to point B. We understand the consequences, both positive and negative,
Right.
of the things that we're doing and the strategies that we're implementing.
So every action has a reaction, right? And so if we do something here, how's that going to impact us in 5, 10, and even in 20 years? That's the purpose of this. The one interesting thing is, Donna, is nobody ever comes into our office and says, oh, I don't need a tax plan, but I do need a financial plan and an income plan, right? Because You're right. The tax plan, the income plan is a derivative of that financial plan, right? That's pointing us in the right direction. So let's talk about how many people don't even have a financial plan first, because that's frustrating to both of us being in the industry. How many people really don't have a direction? As a matter of fact, Donna, let's talk about that in our next segment. When we come back, why you may not have a financial plan and why you need one. Stay tuned.
Do you have questions and concerns about your money, lifestyle, and retirement? Like so many, investors today worry about living expenses, healthcare costs, inflation, and stock market volatility. Instead of worrying, start planning. Eric Kearney and his team at Retirement Wealth Advisors want to sit down, get to know you, and start to build a plan that matches your vision and goals. Let's have a real conversation about what's important to you and how we get there. We'll help build you a plan based on your goals, lifestyle, and income needs, with financial clarity over complexity. Call us today for a Farm-fresh second opinion. Remember, you only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
And let's get into how many people do not have a financial plan. And I've always said, if you don't have a financial plan, you have a problem. You just don't know it yet. So Donna, why is it that so many people come in either just about retired or even in retirement, they don't even have a financial plan? Why is that? That's frustrating.
So I think, first of all, that there is this kind of misnomer, right? That a financial advisor and a financial planner are the same thing.
Right.
And they're not.
No.
Right? Financial advisors, generally speaking, focus on the management of your investments. And although that is very important, it is not the only aspect of your financial life. Right? There's so many other things to consider. But working with a financial planner, that's exactly what we're doing. We're focusing on all those different aspects and working the allocation, working the portfolio management into that so that everything is working together. We don't have opposing forces.
Right.
That is exactly the way that our firm is set up, right? So yourself and Joseph, you are responsible for the wealth management side, for the portfolio management, for the allocation. And I head up the financial planning side, but we work so closely together.
Have to,
Yes, so that we're really marrying those two aspects. But to go back to your original question, why do people not have a financial plan? One, they don't realize that they need it. And two, they think that they are getting those services addressed by working with a financial advisor. But many times that is not actually the case.
Yeah. And a lot of times people will call into the office or call into the podcast and say, Eric, I've got to come in and see you guys. I don't know what my issue is, but I know something's off. And the whole part about that, and to bring it back to Retirement Wealth Advisors, is we do have a financial planning department, and that is really what Donna is head of. So she is taking care of that. And then we have a portfolio management team, and then we have concierge service. The difference with that is everybody understands their role, but it is all for the benefit of that client. So it is a team approach. So the portfolio management team is constantly collaborating with the financial planning side to collaborate for the benefit of that client, to say, hey, are we still marching and moving in the same direction? Because really what we're looking for is positive forward progression, both in the financial plan, the income plan, and the tax plan, to make sure that everything is on point. And we're utilizing benchmarks along the way too, based on your goals, objectives, and what you want your lifestyle to look like. So it is mind-blowing to me how many people don't have all these tools at their disposal. And we are very aware, we are very intentional on all of the planning that we implement. And there's a lot of moving parts that I don't think that people realize what actually happened.
I'll give you a great example, Eric. Joseph and I had a conversation just a few days ago. He came up with a strategy and he sent over to me 4 clients and he said, I want you to look at this strategy and tell me what your thoughts are. And because we've done the financial planning, because we've done income planning, because we've done tax planning, I was able to look at this strategy and apply it directly to our client situation. And this was an investment strategy, just to be clear.
Right.
In 2 of the cases, it looked really good. good. In one case, it was on the fence. And in the last case, it was a definite no-go for tax reasons, that this strategy was actually going to trigger a bigger taxable event. And I think the difference is, when you're working with a financial advisor and you're sitting in front of them and they're saying, yeah, this is great for you. And you can actually see on paper, yeah, this is going to be great for us. We're going to make so much money, or this is going to be really positive for our overall portfolio until you get the tax bill.
So that's what I really want to focus on is tax planning and how we stress test things. If the portfolio management team comes up with an idea for this client, whether it be to increase income, inflation, healthcare needs, whatever it may be, we're creating this. We then send it over to the planning team. The planning team is going to say yay or nay. And if it is nay, it's no. We move on to something different because they're running it through all different kinds of situations. So when it comes to the tax planning component, you are forward thinking and saying, okay, what is your tax bill going to look like? We've got to be concerned about Medicare. We've got to be concerned about Social Security. We also have to be cognizant of required minimum distributions. And we have to give them income. So there's so many moving parts. And here's the one thing I wish I knew. I wish people knew how many moving parts there were behind the scenes. So when we come up next, we are going to talk about how tax planning is a crucial role, both for men and women. Stay tuned.
You know who has one of the toughest retirements? Procrastinators. You keep telling yourself, yeah, I'm going to get to that. But after months turn into years, you realize that time is one investment you can't buy back. The earlier you start, the longer your money works for you. Stop letting someday steal your future. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Don't let procrastination be the reason you work longer and retire smaller. Call us today for a complimentary review of your finances. And remember, you only retire once. So let's get it right the first time.
And welcome back. We are with Donna Krohn, certified financial planner with Retirement Wealth Advisors. And right now, Donna, let's talk about taxes because tax planning is crucial. So what are some common strategies that you focus on with the clients to reduce their taxes or consider all their taxable situations?
Well, the first thing I want to note is that when we're doing tax planning, we are not only considering their tax liability or their tax strategy. We are also considering the impacts to Medicare and to healthcare, because if you're on private healthcare, your healthcare premiums can be driven by your income also. And we focus on how do we bring all of those things into alignment with the current laws? Over the summer, we had a big piece of legislation that was passed, and there were some temporary tax advantages that were added to that plan, temporary being the key word, like the senior deduction, being able to deduct interest on an auto loan for a period of time, things like that. So we're trying to fit into their situation. How do we lower their tax liability without causing crazy impacts to Medicare or healthcare, keeping them in the appropriate tax bracket, and then putting them in a position where they can maximize these additional temporary tax reductions that they may have or tax deductions they may have. So right now we're in Roth conversion season, right? As we come into the end of, I've been, at my desk buried, in paperwork, getting these Roth conversions done. And that is a very popular tax planning strategy. But there's a few things I want to say about that.
Because it's important because people think a Roth conversion is so easy and it's not.
No.
So let's get into some of the ramifications of these and how dangerous they can be too.
Correct. So a lot of people, and I've seen this before, they'll watch a YouTube video or they'll see an Instagram post and they're like, we need to do Roth conversions. And I'm like, do we? And in the financial planning process, we actually test to see if Roth conversions are a good strategy. And we don't do it once. We do it every single year because as their situation changes, as the laws change, and also the value of their portfolio, that strategy can really start to come into play where maybe initially it didn't look so good. And then as time goes on, it starts looking better and better. What that allows us to do is go in, take a look with the financial planning, see what's going on, and see if the Roth conversion is actually appropriate for them, and also give them an idea of what the result of doing a Roth conversion is. Because with a Roth conversion, there are actually two results that we're measuring. We are measuring the result in the future, the reduction in your tax liability, because you have this bucket of tax-free income. And we're also looking at the result in the current year. How is this going to impact your Medicare? Does this impact your tax bracket? And we have timing, right? We have to time this all out so that it's done in the proper year. I wish our viewers could see my desk right now. You know,
it's a mess.
Yeah. And it is, but it's all Roth conversions. And it's not just doing the calculation, which is what we do. We do a preliminary calculation. We talk with our clients. We talk with the client's CPA, whatever tax professionals they're working with, so that we can come to a consensus and everybody understands what is going to happen if we move forward with this, right?
That is one thing that I love about our team is that we collaborate with outside professionals. You can go on our other podcasts and you can see where we work very closely with estate planning attorneys, CPAs, Medicare specialists. So Donna and us, we are all constantly reaching out to them. We are collaborating for the benefit of that client. And I will say one thing. Roth conversions are driven by a rate of return. So there's a lot of people that come into us. They're like, well, I'd like to do a Roth conversion, but my rate of return isn't very high. That's an allocation problem. And remember, a rate of return, a good rate of return, is a luxury that gives you a lot of options down the road. And then when all of that planning is handed over to Donna's team, then they can collaborate to try to put you in a better position. Look, all we want you to do is win. We want everyone to win, but that takes planning and going through a process and taking a look at everything. And tax planning is such a huge issue with that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So everybody out there, if you are looking for tax planning, income planning, financial planning, or you're looking for that second opinion, give us a call today, 601-THE-FARM. We're going to pick up and we're going to invite you in. We are going to get you that full-blown financial plan done. So again, 601-THE-FARM. Give us a call today. And thank you so much for watching Farm Truck Financial, and we will see you on the back roads of retirement.
Thanks for riding along with us today. We hope you got some good dirt. If you liked today's show, subscribe, like, and share with all your farm truck friends. We hope you'll join us for the next ride on Farm Truck Financial, where we're always planting seeds for a better future, 1 mile, $1 at a time.
Farm Truck Financial, we're riding with you down the back road steady.